Hello all and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pandey and in this module I will be covering management of Expedite Windows Quality Update. So in the previous module we talked about feature update and its prerequisite, how to configure telemetry and health monitoring data, those feature update deployment settings, backend process of Windows feature update and limitations of feature update for Windows 10 and later policy and feature update basic troubleshooting. In this module, I will be covering Expedite Windows Quality Update and its prerequisite, what is Microsoft Update Health Tool, what are the settings in Expedite Update deployment, then Windows Update Expedite backend process, and then we will discuss about Expedite Windows Quality Update troubleshootings and voting flow. Then I will perform the test in lab environment. Now let's discuss some of the points related to Expedite Windows Quality Update. So with quality updates for Windows 10 and later policy, we can expedite the installation of most recent Windows 10 or 11 security update as quickly as possible on devices you manage with Microsoft Intune. Expedite Windows quality releases might be provided to fix a recently identified issues or vulnerability. With Expedite updates, we can speed installation of quality updates like the most recent Patch Tuesday release or an out-of-band security update for a zero-day vulnerability. To speed installation, Expedite update use available services like Windows Push Notification Service, also known as WNS, and Push Notification Channel to deliver the message to device there is an Expedite update to install. This process enables device to start the download and install of an Expedite update as soon as possible without having to wait for device to check for update. The actual time that a device start to update depends on the device being online, its scan timing, whether communication channels to the device are functioning, and other factors like cloud processing time. Windows Update evaluates the build and architecture of each device and then delivers the version of the update that are applied. Windows Update does not try to expedite the update for devices that already have a revision that is equal to or greater than the update version. Deployment of expedited update is done without the need to pause or edit your existing monthly servicing policies. Not all updates can be expedited. Currently, only Windows 10 and 11 security updates that can be expedited are available to deploy with quality update policies. To manage regular monthly quality update, we have to use update ring for Windows 10 and later policy. For device with a lower build version than the update, Windows Update confirms that the device still requires the update before installing it. In some scenario, Windows Update can install an update that is more recent than the update you specify in Expedite Update policy. Expedite Update policy ignores and overrides any quality update deferral period for the update version you deploy. And the last point, when a device restart is required to complete installation of the update, the policy helps to manage the restart. In the policy, configure a period that user have to restart a device before the policy force an automatic restart. Now let's discuss the Intune Expedite quality update prerequisites. So in addition to license for Intune, organization must have one of the following subscription. They should have either Windows 10 or 11 Enterprise E3 or E5 license, which is included in Microsoft 365 F3, E3 or E5 subscription, or they should have Windows 10 or 11 Education A3 or A5 license, which is included in Microsoft 365 A3 or A5, or they should have Windows 10 or 11 Virtual Desktop Access per user license or Microsoft 365 Business Premium license. With respect to device related prerequisite, the device runs a version of Windows 10 or 11 that remains in support. Device should be enrolled in Intune MDM or to be co-managed with the Windows Update policy workload set to Intune or Pilot Intune. Device should have the access to the following endpoint
Windows Update, device should have access to all these URLs mentioned in here. And with respect to Windows Update for Business DS services, device should have access to all these URLs. And with respect to Windows Push Notification Service, device should have access to stick.notify.windows.com URL.
The other prerequisites are device should be configured to get quality update directly from the Windows Update service. Device should have the update health tool installed, and device should have telemetry turned on with a minimum setting of required.
Now let's discuss what is Microsoft Update Health Tools. Microsoft Update Health Tool enables the Windows Update for Business Deployment Services feature for expediting Windows 10 security update using Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Update Health Tool runs a tiny component that receives the expedite command from the deployment service, enabling device to start updating right away faster than default or existing configured settings. Microsoft Update Health Tool are automatically deployed to the devices connected to Windows Update. We can manually deploy Windows Update Health Tool or using Intune as Win32 application deployment. This updates includes reliability improvement for Windows Update Service component in all editions of Windows 10 version starting from 15.07 and Windows 11 version. It may take steps to free up disk space on your devices if you do not have enough disk space to install the Windows Update.
To confirm the presence of Windows Update Health Tool installed on the device, there are many ways. Either we can check C program files and Microsoft Update Health Tool folder is existing or not. We can also review add remove programs for Microsoft Update Health Tool installed or not, or we can run some PowerShell command to check whether the Microsoft Update Health Tool install or not. Along with that, we can also check the version of Microsoft Update Health Tool. Admin can also see the Update Health Tool installed on the devices from Intune portal under Discovered Apps.
Now let's see how to create a Expedite Update policy and what are the options available in Expedite Update policy. So to create an Expedite Update policy, we have to go to the devices, and after that we have to go to the policies. Under policies, then we have to go to the quality update for Windows 10 and later, and then we have to create a policy. So to create a policy, we have to provide the name of the policy, and then we have to select the Expedite Update quality update which we want to deploy on the devices. So we will see only three most recent Expedite quality update in the drop down menu, and based on our requirement we have to select quality update, and then we can schedule the number of days to wait before the restart is enforced. So we can select either 0, 1 or 2, and then we have to create it and then deploy it to the required group of devices. Now let's discuss the Expedite Windows Update backend process. So we already discussed about the normal update ring deployment as well as the feature update deployment backend process in previous module. In both the cases, it's a kind of pull deployment where Windows Update client is pulling the required update from the Windows Update service as part of normal Windows Update scan process. But in case of Expedite Update, it's a kind of push update where Windows Update for Business is pushing the Expedite Update to the end device as soon as possible for installation using Windows Push Notification Service. So in this case, admin is creating a Windows 10 quality update profile in Intune to expedite the deployment of the patch, and then Intune is sharing the Expedite policies configuration and required device information to the Windows Update for Business deployment services. After that, Windows Push Notification Service push the notification to Microsoft Update Health Tool installed on the Windows devices that there is an Expedite update for device. Microsoft Update Health Tool receives the Expedite policy notification and sets the Expedite restart deadline and trigger Windows Update client to perform a scan. Windows Update client immediately perform the scan to find the applicable update for devices and Windows Update evaluates the build and architecture for each device and then deliver the version of the update that applies. Then the applicable update is downloaded and installed, and then Windows Update client restart the system to commit update action respecting the restart deadline as configured in the Expedite policy. After that, normal Windows Update setting are reverted back to the original setting as configured via update ring policy from Intune. Microsoft Update Help tool monitors the Expedite update process and sends the actual status back via telemetry. And then Intune admin can see the same state and sub-state in Windows Expedite update report to track the deployment.
Now let's understand more about the Windows Expedite update backend process using this flow. So I have divided this entire update process in two parts. The very first part is the prerequisite part, which as an admin we have to ensure that those prerequisites are already met, like we have to create a telemetry policy and health monitoring policy and deploy those policies from the Intune to the required devices. And those policies should be applied and configured on the device so that device can start sending their telemetry data to the update services. We also need to ensure that the Microsoft Windows Health tool installed on the device. If the Windows Update Health tool is not installed on the device, then Expedite update process is not going to work. So now I'm assuming that the prerequisite already in place, and then we as an admin is going to create an Expedite update policy, and then we are going to deploy this policy to the required devices. Once that policy is deployed to the required devices, Intune is going to share the policy configuration and the required device information as well as the restart setting to the Windows Update for Business. Then Windows Update for Business is going to send a push notification using a Windows Update notification service. Microsoft Update Help tool check for an policy, or WNS pushes the notification to the Microsoft Update Help tool. Update Help tool receives the notification and it's going to trigger the Windows Update agent to start the scan process against Windows Update. Now the machine is going to scan against the Windows Update, and Windows Update is going to offer the applicable updates for the device after checking the device architecture and build version. Now the required applicable update is coming down to the device, and machine is going to download and install the updates and reboot the system as per the configuration mentioned in the Expedite update policy. Once the download is completed, machine is going to reset the update policy back to the normal, whatever we configured in the normal update ring policy. After that, Microsoft Update Help tool will send the status to the Windows Update via telemetry, and then Windows Update will send the status to the Microsoft Intune for reporting purpose. And the same information we can see in the Expedite update report.
Now let's see how we can track the Windows Expedite update deployment status using Expedite update reporting. So to check this, we have to go to the reporting section in Intune portal, and then under in reporting section within device management, we have a report called Windows Update, and then we can check the Windows Expedite update report. And then when we are generating the report, we have to select the Expedite update policy which we have created. In this case, test is my update policy, and then we have to click on generate. After that, we can see the status. As we can see that I have 3 devices and all devices are showing different state. The very first device is saying that need attention, and if we check the alert type, is saying that Expedite client missing, meaning that the Microsoft Update Help tool is not installed on this device. Second device is showing the update state pending and sub state scheduled, and the update aggregate state is in progress. So meaning that the device already passed the validation and update will be expedited. Third device is showing update status installed, and the sub state is update installed, and the aggregate state is success, meaning that this device is already expedited, and expedited update is installed on these devices, and that's why it is showing success. Now let's see what all update state is available when we are running the report. So we can see that we have many update state and the sub state, and the very first one is the pending, and under sub state is showing validating, meaning that the device has been added to the policy in the service and the validation that the device can be expedited has begun. Then after that, the substate is moving to scheduled, meaning that the device has passed the validation and will be expedited. And same thing we can hear in this, like for my second machine is showing this pending and scheduled. The third one is offering an update state, and the substate is offer ready, meaning that the expired instruction have been sent to the device and device immediately start performing their expedited process. Now fourth update state is installing, in which machine is first going to receive the offer and then is going to start the downloading, and once the download is complete, it start the installation, and the installation complete and then restart required for the device, and then the restart initiated and the restart completed, and finally is moving from installing to installed, where the update is installed. See the same thing here in the third machine, where update state is showing installed, sub status is update installed, and the aggregate is showing success. Now let's discuss how we can track and troubleshoot the expedite update deployment using logs and the report. As we already discussed that when we are deploying the expedite quality update on the device, actually that policy is not coming down to the device directly. Instead, the same policy is created in Windows Update for Business, and from there the machine is getting the expedite update notification for action. So when we are going to troubleshoot the things, we need to ensure following things. The very first thing is that we need to ensure that the prerequisites are in place, like Windows should be run on a version of Windows 10 on Windows 11 that remains in support. Machine should be enrolled in MDM and should be hybrid Azure design or Azure design. The telemetry turned on with the minimum setting of required, and we need to ensure that the Microsoft account sign-in assistant must be run, and the health monitoring should be enabled, and deployment should be applied on the device, and we should ensure that the Windows Update health tool is installed on the device, and device should have access to the following URL like Windows Update URLs, Windows Update for Business DS URLs, and the Windows push notification URLs. Then from expedite reports, we can track the update installation starting from deployment offering till the installation. And client machine, we can use the event viewer to track the end-to-end process of update deployment starting from policy receiving till the installation and review. We can also track the notification related issue using Windows Update Health tool, which is installed on C program, Microsoft Update Health tool, and then logs. And we can also use the Windows Update logs to track the end-to-end download and installation of Windows Update. These two logs are very helpful when we want to track the detailed information related to notification services as well as related to download and install of the updates.
Now let's see how to configure the telemetry data. So to configure the telemetry data, we have to create a device restriction policy in admin center portal. But before that, I'll show you what is the current configuration in this device. So this is my test PC where I'm going to perform the test. So I'm going to open all settings, and under all settings we have a privacy option, and then we have a diagnostic and feedback option. Here we can see that the diagnostic data is now currently configured as an optional diagnostic data. I'm going to configure this the required diagnostic data, which is the minimum requirement when we are creating a updating policy. So to configure this, I'm going to log into the Microsoft Admin Center portal, and then under devices we have to go to the configuration profile. Then we have to create a configuration profile, and I am going to select the platform Windows 10 and later, and the profile type is template, and then under template we have a device restriction template. I have to go to create. I'm going to give the name diagnostic data and click next. Under configuration we have to go to reporting and telemetry, and under users share users data we have to configure it to required, and that's then we have to click next and assign it to all devices, and if you want you can assign it to some group also. For now I am going to assign it to all devices. I'm going to create next, and then policy is now created and assigned. Now I am going to enroll this device in Intune. For that I am going to access school and work, and then going to click on connect, and then I'm going to join this device in Azure AD, and then username and password. Going to join this device. Now device is connected to my tenant, and now device is enrolled in Intune. Now we can see that the policy is assigned to the device, and we'll check that whether the telemetry data is set to required or not. For that again I'm going to click on home button, and then privacy setting, and under diagnostics and feedback now we can see that that telemetry data is set to required for device, and the same thing we can validate in the registry also. So for opening a registry we have to go to HKLM software policy, and then Microsoft, and then Windows we have data collection policy, and we can see that allow telemetry data is set to 1, and now my machine is configured to send their telemetry data. Now let's see how to configure the device health monitoring policy. So right now I'm on my client PC. I'm going to show you the current configuration of my device. So for that I am going to show you the account part under access work or school. Under information button in policies we can see that I don't have any device health monitoring policy applied on this device, and the same thing we can check under registry as well. Under registry if you go to the software Microsoft, then policy manager, and then under policy manager current, then under devices under I don't have any device health monitoring policy registry key applied on this. Now I am going to create a policy. For that I am going to log in. Now I am on Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center portal, and to create a configuration profile we have to go to the devices. Under devices we have to go to policies. Under policies we have a configuration profiles, and then we have to create a profile. For that I have to click on create profile, and then in platform we have to select Windows 10 and later, and the profile type should be template. Under templates we have a template called Windows Health Monitoring template, and then we have to select it and click create. Now we need to give a name of this policy. I am going to give same name, Windows Health Monitoring, and then click next. Here we have to select the health monitorings configuration. I'm going to select is enable, and under scope we have to select the Windows update, and then click next, and then assign to all devices or a specific group of devices. For now I am going to assign to all devices, and then next, and then next I'm going to create it, and then policy is now created, and it's showing here also. In some time we can see the same policy is applied on the device. To initiate a process I'm going to initiate a sync. For that I'm going to click on devices, and this is my test device, and then we have to click on sync option, and then synchronize. Now sync is already initiated. Now let's see if the policy is applied on the device or not. To check this policy is applied on the device or not, I am going to open all settings and then under accounts, access work or school, and then click on information button, and we can see that device health monitoring policy is now applied on the device. And same thing we can verify using registry also. So on the registry for under HKLM software, Microsoft, and then policy manager, under policy manager current, under devices we have a new folder called device health monitoring, and under device health monitoring we can see that the device health monitoring scope is set for Windows Update. Now before starting the installation of Expedite Update, we have to ensure that the Microsoft Update Health tool is installed on the system. And to check whether the Update Health tool is installed on the system, we have many ways. The very first way is to check using services. We have to ensure that the Microsoft Update Health service should be up and running. If this service is not visible here, meaning that the Update Health tool is not installed, and we have to install the Update Health tool. Other way of checking the Update Health tool is installed or not is using the add and remove program entry. So for that I am going to run appdisk.cpl command, and we can check the under programs and feature the Microsoft Update Health tool is installed on the system. We can also check the same thing using PowerShell command. To check this using PowerShell command, we have to run a PowerShell query, and with the help of that query we can find whether the Update Health tool is installed on the device or not. We can also check the Update Health tool installed on the device using Intune portal. For that we have to select the device on which we want to check the installation, and then under discovered apps we can easily find the Update Health tool. And we can also use a PowerShell command to generate a report to see whether the Update Health tool is installed on against the entire state. One more point, let's see the location of the Windows Update Health tool. The Windows Update Health tool is installed under program files, and we can see the folder called Microsoft Update Health tool, and inside this we can see the Expedite Update exe and the logs also. These logs are in ETL format. We cannot read this as it is, like if you want to open it under as open with notepad, it's not readable. Okay, for that I am using support center installer. I'm going to install this support center. We can use support center to read the ETL files, and to open the support center we have to go to the program files and then configuration manager support center under, and then we have a CM log viewer. So this is very helpful to read the logs as well as the ETL files. And I'm going to open the ETL file and the Windows Update Health, and we can open all logs, and then we can read a specific log or combine all the logs. So for now I'm just going to read a specific log. Now we can see that we are getting all the information populated here, but is reading everything. Created push notification channel, activate factory, receive the channel. Okay, so we can see by reading this information we can check whether the machine is getting a push notification or not, or if there is any issue. Now let's see how we can create the Expedite Update policy. To create an Expedite Update policy, we have to go to the policies, and under policy we have to select quality update for Windows 10 and later, and then we have to create a policy. And here we can see that it's informing us that enable Windows health monitoring and select Windows update scope to get detailed device states and error. This we already did that, so we are good on that part. Now I am going to create a policy for 20H2. Next we have to select the Expedite update which we want to deploy on the device. So here it's saying that Expedite installation of quality update if device OS version is less than. So we will get a most recent 3 security update. Now we can see that all three are a B security update, meaning that all three are released in the past Tuesday. For now, I am going to select the recent one, and then for restart behavior, I'm okay with the 1 day. But if you want, you can go with 2 days or 0 day also. Now I'm going to click next, and then we have to assign this to a specific group. So my machine is a part of test group. I'm selecting the test group and just clicking on next and then create. Now we can see that the quality update for Windows 10 and later policy is created, and this is created for quality update released on 11th October 2022. Now we can see that the cumulative update for October month is started downloading on the system. Now download is completed and machine is started installing the updates. Now the update is installed on the device and machine is showing pending for reboot. I am going to reboot the machine. Now my machine is back and online. Let's see if the machine is showing up to date with the latest patch. I am going to open check for update. We can see that the machine is updated with the latest patch. We can also see the Windows update history to ensure that the update is successfully installed on the device, and we can see that our cumulative update for the month of October has been installed successfully on the device. We can also verify the same thing using winver command. So I'm typing winver command, and we can see the revision version is showing 2130, which is corresponding to October month update. Now after 1 hour, let's see the Expedite update deployment status is updated in report or not. And to check the status, I am going to open Expedite update report, and I am going to select my Expedite update policy and then generating a report. Now we can see that my test device is showing update state installed, update substate is update installed, and the aggregated state is success. Same thing we can also verify using the device hardware information. We can check that the operating system version is also updated in the hardware inventory, and this information is reported in Intune via Intune management extension. I hope this is an informative video for you. Thank you very much for watching this video.